You're listening to the World's Team Podcast. It's not just America's team, Cowboys Nation. It's the world's team. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Stewart and Mike Poland.
How about them Cowboys?
And we're back, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to another episode of the World's Team Podcast in partnership with the Believe Network, brought to you by Cowboys Experience for the ultimate meet and greet, tailgating, game day experience, stadium tours. Be sure to go to www.cowboysexperience.com and use the discount code World's Team 2025. I am your host, Paul Stewart, and as always, I'm joined by my brother in arms, Mr. Mike Poland. How are we doing, bro?
Yeah, good. Weather's good, but you're back. How was your trip over in Viking County?
Yes, it was pretty good.
Denmark. When we say Vikings, we're not on about Minnesota either. We're on about
no. We're not talking about Minnesota. I can't even say it. I can't even say it. Like,
Minnesota. I got you. Minnesota.
Yeah, just Minnesota. Yeah. No, I was in Copenhagen and Odense, Denmark, for the past week, due to business. With my with other work. Yeah, had a great time. A lot of Carlsberg was drunk. A lot of Danish drinking games, which I'm not going to go into detail.
Don't do that.
No, I don't think I will do that because it's a little bit messed up. But yeah, I had a great time, man. I would definitely go back to Denmark very soon. I loved it there, and the weather was fantastic. Like, I got a little bit of sunburn. Like, didn't anticipate how hot it was going to be.
Nice.
So I got a little bit of color, but on my arm, like, it's like, well, I don't know if you can really see on the camera, but it's a lot more. Like, if I do it, well, you can, on that
I'm with you. I got you. That's the Scottish side, and that's the Danish side.
Yeah. So pretty much that. But yeah, man, it was all good. But yeah, I'm glad to be back. Try and get all catched up on what's everything going with the Dallas Cowboys right now.
Plenty of news, lots going on, mate.
Yeah, lots has been going on, and but yeah, I mean, let's just head it right off. Big news for the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, Mike.
I know, yeah, they got their pay rise.
Finally,
much deserved.
And a lot of big thanks is really down to what Netflix has been doing, like really showing the work ethic of all these girls do on game day, even in training. Like the risks as well, because it's like the injuries you can even pick up while you're cheerleading is ridiculous. But just to kind of break down what's been going on, so the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders have received an historic 400%, 400
That's a lot.
pay increase, jumping about from $1,600 per game. Following years of scrutiny and legal settlement, their raises their hourly rate from $15 to $75. I mean, it's not like you're like a good living wage like per month, but even still, it's a massive jump.
Like, yeah.
And not just that, now with the Netflix now involved, it's going to give these girls a lot more opportunity outside of the cheerleaders as well, endorsements, etc. So big love to the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Big love to them. And this is one thing we kind of spoke before we jumped on air, is that the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders are like the creme de la creme of cheerleading. Yeah. Like that's like the final boss, essentially.
Yeah, you will not get a higher precipice of your career than that.
Exactly. It's the top tier. Everyone wants to be a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader because the exposure that you get from it, and like we're kind of saying, like, it's not the highest paying job, but it's the exposure you get from it that leads you to other opportunities. And we've spoken to many cheerleaders. We've interviewed them on shows, on podcasts. Yeah, absolutely.
People, and they talk about life after the Cowboys. How it's a great opportunity, gets them into other fields, and they move on and they go forward from there. So it's not just the fact that they're at the Cowboys. What you've got to look at is the whole length of the time that they're doing all this cheerleader, and you've got to be fit to do it. You've got to be flexible, supple, and all these other things. Great memory. You've got to have good memory, good timing. You've got to do all these things. Then you become a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. So it's like getting money that they do, and it's not like it's coming out of any sort of cap or anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they deserve to be paid. And when we seen it, and like you say, the Netflix show adds more publicity to it all, and then from that they get this pay rise, and it is wholeheartedly, it is fully deserved for those girls.
Absolutely, and I just hope it keeps going up and up and up for the girls, because they really, like, from a fan experience as well, like for all the young kids that they look up to the cheerleaders as well, and they just bring so much amazing atmosphere to game day as well.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah,
they're America's sweethearts, as they're called.
That's exactly it. And like I said, Mike, like they are like the pinnacle point of cheerleading. So
I mean, we've been in their changing room, and I mean, I know that sounds weird, but we've been in their changing room.
Careful now. Careful.
I know.
Careful.
But you just see like how extravagant everything is, and you just look at that, and you're like, surely you want the wage to match where they are, what they're doing here, and you look at all of this, how cool everything is for them, and you're just like, come on,
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, in other news, Donovan Ezeiruaku has been in a lot of props along with the mainstream media the past couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's no surprise, because I mean,
no,
me and you, the very second during the NFL draft this was made, I think we were on this so fast. We're on it quicker, probably than anyone else. That we absolutely love this pick. He was somebody we always kind of meandered towards during mock drafts, and whenever he was there, we would take him, we would talk about him. Go back and listen to the shows. You'll hear us talking about Ezeiruaku. So it's no surprise to us when you hear of like Athlon Sports, and this is all in the last week. Blogging the boys over there, SB Nation, they've been talking about it. Yahoo Sports, CBS Sports, they're all talking about the praise Ezeiruaku's been getting lately, and that he just looks like he's hitting the ground running. They're saying this is one of the defensive rookies this year you have to watch, because he's in prime position. And when you look at it, you say, okay, you're going to have Micah one side, who's drawing all this extra attention, which he's going to.
Yep.
So on the other side, you're going to have, I know we've got quite a rotation over there of the guys like Dante Fowler, Sam Williams, Marshawn Neeland. You've got Ezeiruaku in there, who I think is going to be the guy that they're going to try and give the most snap. He's going to be this. He's on the other side doing the most work. Dante Fowler, designated pass rusher. Sam Williams, depending on his how he overcomes the injuries. Marshawn Neeland, he's more of your run stuffing type. He's a bookend, so he's that guy who kind of sets the edge on the run. So when you look at it, Ezeiruaku's in prime position, and many people on these various other sites have all said, watch him. He's a defensive player you've got to watch this year.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. If there's one thing you need to watch back, his footage when he was at Boston College, his get off speed, his hands, like getting off blocks, his ability to bend to get to the quarterback, it's just nothing but exceptional. How, like, who knows, in years to come, we might be looking back, it's like, how the hell did we get him in the second round?
Yeah.
So
it's ironic that on my draft board, so we've got Booker and Ezeiruaku. Ezeiruaku was only 2 spots above Booker, so they were very close to each other in terms of ranking. So when you think they've taken those two guys, kind of like, you can see what they've done. They prioritized offensive line. Ezeiruaku was still available, so they go, oh, he's still available, let's take him. Let's not forget the other intangibles with Ezeiruaku: captain, leader,
yeah,
IQ.
Absolutely. And again, we've mentioned this so many times. There was a theme going into this draft. We drafted players that had leadership qualities to I suppose this is one thing we weren't really going to mention as much, but just to reiterate again, this is something that head coach Brian Schottenheimer was looking for. He's looking to make a difference in the culture of this football team. And with the guys he's brought in, like Ezeiruaku, Tyler Booker, Siobhan Revel, these guys have these leadership qualities to actually redefine how our football team's going to go forward. So, I mean, I'm excited, man, to see what happens. I really am.
Yeah, I mean, here's one for you. Let's say he gets the starting edge role opposite Micah Parsons, right? 300, 400 defensive snaps, let's say. What would be your prediction if they give him a heavy role on the defense? Would you expect in terms, because don't forget, his sacks were phenomenal, but also was his tackles for loss and total tackles. Pressures as well. Pressures, I'm a guy who's more about pressures than sacks. But
pressures, like if you can see a defensive end causing more havoc by putting so many pressures on the quarterback, then they're doing their job. Yeah. That's the best way to really analyze defensive ends. Don't forget, sacks and tackles for loss is great. It's on the stat sheet, but it's the guy beating the offensive line one-on-one and beating double teams. Is he actually getting into the pocket and actually putting pressure on the quarterback? That's the stat. That's what really counts. So,
like a sack ends the play, right? That's great. Yeah. And you're talking a guy to have 15, 16, 17 sacks in the season. Great. One sack a game. But it's like, understand, pressures is what causes a quarterback to make mistakes. And when a quarterback makes mistakes,
that can lead to interceptions, turnovers, fumbles, you name it. So
pressure, you get in their head. You get into their head with just constantly being it. If a quarterback's going, stop that guy, and you're not stopping him, and he's having to rush passes, timing routes are out the window at that stage. If you're constantly on pressures, you can't play any timing routes because now you're just gonna have to play straight. You have to play straight offense.
Yeah,
like if you can get into his head, and we've seen it so many times with quarterbacks that once a player or a defense is in their head, pretty much game over. And you could do that without getting a single sack. The trouble is there's so much emphasis on sacks. Like when you think with like fans and Pro Bowl voting and everything's all based on sacks. Sacks is the only thing that counts.
No, I totally agree with you, 100%. Other than that, we do have some free agency signings that have now been acquired to the Dallas Cowboys and some cuts already. So, so the Dallas Cowboys have signed former cornerback Robert Rochell to fill out the secondary depth. Rochell joins amid transitions in the cornerback group and will hope to carve out a defensive role under defensive coordinator Matt Elbethus. Also, they also have signed UFL Birmingham Stallions defensive tackle Perrion Winfrey. That one I really like. That
one is interesting. Ironically, during the draft, I ranked him higher pretty much than what the consensus had. I'm with you. I mean, I'll get your take and I'll give you mine. What do you like about Perrion Winfrey?
His ability to get off the blocks.
Okay, yeah.
Like the fact that he's so even disruptive under a double team threat, I think he can be quite that utility tool where it might open up the door for like Osa, etc. But just because he's playing in UFL doesn't mean because we've had so much success in years prior, like Turpin, Brandon Aubrey, like those two
Pro
guys
Bowl players.
Exactly. So why can't Perrion Winfrey be that case? I mean, we've had a fair share of duds as well. We brought in a couple of linebackers years prior, didn't really work out, but they did stood out in preseason. But is the Perrion Winfrey one going to be one that's going to make the 53-man roster? Time will tell. We don't know. We really don't know in that regard. But it's an open board. Like after Mazzie Smith, I think the door is very much there because obviously one of the cuts to the Dallas Cowboys is Justin Rogers. He has been cut. So that now increases Winfrey's chances of making this football team. So
I mean, it's a little when you look at the cuts and the trade, or not the trades, the cuts and the acquisitions that they made. It's literally a 1-for-1 swap. So what they're doing is they're saying we still need depth at the position. We feel these guys are better. So what they've done is, it's sad because I quite like Justin Rogers, but they've looked at it and gone, we kind of fancy our chances more with Perrion Winfrey than we do here. With the likes of what we got with Jay Toyer as well. Maybe Winfrey can offer us something slightly different.
And not just that, like Winfrey will already be game ready because the UFL is literally it's the summer league. Like he's just finished up and he's basically going back straight into it again. Whereas obviously once you're done with the NFL after the Super Bowl, it's basically you've got a couple of months to kind of like chill, relax. Yeah. Then you're back into off-season training, try and hit the weight room, etc. But whereas like Winfrey, he's good to go already. So he's got a good advantage ahead of him already.
Yeah, I'm looking. His 2023 season with the Jets not so good. His rookie season with Cleveland, 22 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, 2 quarterback hits. Didn't really play that much, more of a rotational guy. But here's the crazy bit: he's still only 24 years of age. That's young.
He's very young.
2 seasons in the NFL. Obviously, he's rolled one with the UFL, as you mentioned, because you go from one to the other, and now he's back again. So, as you say, conditioning is everything. He's going to be well conditioned. Needless to say.
Yeah, and not just that. Like when you look at the Browns and the Jets, they've always had like a good rotational defensive line. They've always had.
Yeah.
Whereas Winfrey, he was kind of he always was going to be playing that secondary role. Him having any opportunity beyond the football field, it was going to be limited. But I think with him,
he's a 4th round pick. So
yeah. So you weren't going to expect much, but he does have some good qualities about him.
Yeah. It's not like they've broken the bank to do this deal. Justin Rogers gone. You're kind of like, it's not a huge loss. It's sad because we liked him, like what we've seen before, but it's not like you make this cut and you've got loads of dead cap and then you add this guy to just inflate it more. All they're doing is they're just kind of like, it's a little pre-camp gymnastic of look at the scout. You look at your team. You constantly have to keep scouting, keep evaluating your team.
It's an ongoing process for.
Davey Johnson said it's a 24/7. It's a
365 days a year.
Yep. Yeah, you have to always keep evaluating, and that's what they've done.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they've added a new defensive tackle
and cornerback. But tell me, Mike, more about Robert Rochell, the cornerback.
Yes. So and again, another 4th round pick taken by the Los Angeles Rams. He's coming to 27 years of age. He's played in Green Bay for the last 2 seasons. Hasn't played a great deal. In terms of production, there's not much there. He's got 2 fumble recoveries. He's made 4 pass breakups in 4 seasons. And he has a grand total of 25 tackles under his belt. So, at the end of the day, this is a guy who's here for the depth purposes. Are you expecting wonders from this guy? Probably not. Is he going to make the practice squad? But you don't know what will transpire. So,
yeah. And like I said, though, mate, it's like certain players fit into certain systems, some players don't. Could we're not to put any more pressure on Winfrey and Rochell. The expectation of them is they're going to be depth players, but they do bring something to the table, a lot more than exactly. It's if it makes sense business wise and it's cheaper and you're maybe getting a better player out of it, then why not?
You again, we just talked about they believe evaluating their roster that the Perrion Winfrey is going to be better than Justin Rogers. That's how they feel. They think this is better for the team, better going forward into Oxnard. Obviously, with Rochell, they're doing the same thing. They cut Luke Barku, and they've gone, let's add this guy. So they obviously feel that he's, especially when you think if you look at both positions, they're both positions most Cowboy fans would agree is the weakest on this roster.
Agreed.
So they're just trying to raise that bar slightly with whichever way they can do it.
Another thing as well, it could be a character thing as well.
There is
that possibility, because that's
we don't
one
know
thing.
Behind the curtain what's going on.
Yeah, we don't know what likes of what Rochelle and Winfrey are like in the locker room. Like they could be really good guys in the I can't even speak today. My God, I'm still tired from jet lag. But there could be good guys to be in that locker room and can still bring something to the table. But it's a long shot. Me kind of like thinking of other reasons why that makes more sense. But you know what I mean, though, Mike. It's
no, of course.
And it could be more of a driving factor. This is what Schottenheimer is trying to do. He's trying to bring in guys that has agenda. End of the day.
Yeah. And you talk about peeling back the curtain at the Dallas Cowboys. We don't know what certain things are going on, but the only thing we can say for sure is that they've looked at it. They've gone cornerback and defensive tackle are a weakness. These two guys we feel aren't bringing much to the table. Let's evaluate. Is there something better that we could do to try and lift this up? Just bring it up at least one notch. You only want it to go, if it just ratchets it up just one level, then you've done your job. Because that's what it's all about. And that's really all that move, I would say, is about at this stage.
Well, funny that you mentioned about training camp earlier. Oh, what happened there?
I am still here. Sorry, I've knocked my camera off.
Oh my God. Do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Like, obviously, Mike's camera is off if you're watching this on YouTube. But he is still here. There he is. He's back again. Well, I can't really edit that off the
We're
video.
okay. We're okay.
We're good. We're good. But it's funny that you mentioned training camp there, because obviously, the Dallas Cowboys have officially announced they'll be reporting to training camp on Monday, the 21st of July, in Oxnard, California, where they'll have holded joint practices with the Rams on August the 5th, ahead of the preseason games. So that should be quite tasty. Jared Vars, etc., all going to be head to head against Dayton, Cooper Beebe. That'll be very fun to watch.
Yeah. What's really cool is, so obviously the Cowboys and the team and all the players and coaches and everything will be going in the week before and the weekend. So you're going to see it all amping up and ramping up, and we can get excited. You're going to see some over the weekend and before the weekend. You're going to see some press conferences. Jerry's going to come out. We may even hear, because training camp Oxnard's always been a place for contracts to get finalized. Maybe we hear more about Micah. I know we don't want to talk too much about it because we kind of greased that pole quite a lot.
Yeah. That seems to be like is it going to be this week or is it going to be next week? We just don't know. Like, all we do know,
Oxnard's a good place for these things to happen.
What I will say about the Micah Parsons contract, all we know is Jerry is actively trying to get this deal done as soon as possible.
They are talking, genuinely.
Because obviously with TJ Watt at the Pittsburgh Steelers, his deal is going to be substantial. It could be resetting the market, potentially. It's really up to the agent's job of Micah Parsons to try and do something better than that. And this is why Jerry wants to get the deal done now. And like, I mean, should Parsons be better paid more than TJ Watt? I would say so. But just from a personal point of view, like, obviously I want Parsons done cheaper as possible for the cap and other players, etc. But you get what I mean, though. Like, Parsons deserves all of his money and his praise, but it's going to be a really tough situation if the TJ Watt deal gets happened first. Then it's going to like force Jerry's hand to pay out even more. So
what I see. So we said agents are the problem. What we didn't think is, what if both agents on either side of the problem? Because what if TJ's Watt agent doesn't want to go first because he doesn't want to reset the market, and then Micah overstep TJ and get a bigger deal? And then on the other side, Micah's agent doesn't want to go first because then TJ Watt gets the bigger deal and steps over.
Battle of the agents.
It's a Mexican standoff between the agents. We've said the agents are the problem. We're fully aware of that. We know that Micah wants a deal done. We know that Jerry wants a deal done. What you're not taking into account is, what if the agents on either side.
They'll wait for that. Yeah, they'll wait for each other to see what one bites the bullet first.
And they want the prestige of being, I got my guy the best deal.
Yeah. I never thought about that, Mike. That's a really good point. Yeah, folks, let us know what you think if that's the case. Do you think this is a Mexican standoff with both TJ Watt's agent and Micah Parsons' agent trying to get the best deal for their guys? But yeah, folks, that is the end of this week's show. Before we do go, Mike, please tell everyone where everyone can find you.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter or X at Kenfig Cowboy. That's Kenfig with a K, Cowboy with a K. And you, Mr. P.
I am Peace2 on X and Instagram. But yeah, folks, if you're interested, checking out my Danish journey from the past week, it's all on Instagram stories. So have a wee laugh and see what I got up to. But yeah, folks, but until then, we will catch you guys next time on the next episode of The World's Team. But just remember, folks, it's not just America's team. It is the World's Team. We'll see you guys next time.
That's a wrap on the World's Team Podcast. Smash that like button and hit subscribe, Cowboys Nation. This ain't just America's team, it's your team. Touchdown! It's the World's Team, only on Believe, where real fans live.
How about them Cowboys?